considering he's had to come in, suddenly after losing the season?
I just think he's been really, really consistent. I mean, he has been the same guy, again, since I got here. But just poised, works hard. He's studying around the clock. Good dialogue back and forth. I mean, he's really into it. Has great command, ownership, all those things. So I've been really pleased with him.
When it comes to the Bills' defense, what are some of they give them more points maybe in the past? What are some things you see from them? You obviously have a background seeing them in the past too.
Yeah, I mean they're well coached. They've been that way, since Sean's been there. I mean they're coordinated at every level, at all three levels. They play really, really hard. They have a system with a lot of continuity in it. Aggressive players at the line of scrimmage. They don't give up many explosives. They rally and play hard to the football. I mean they're a well coached team that swarms the ball. They generate turnovers. I mean it's a really good, well coached defense with good players. So they've been consistent with that, for a long time.
What are some of the things that you did in the spring and through training camp to have Davis prepared for this type of situation?
Well, I think, he took a lot of reps in the spring, took a lot of reps in training camp as well. But I think just just putting him through the foundation piece where we built the offense up, and he's had a ton of reps, and he's engaged and works at it. And whether it's getting reps on the side, even through the season, earlier in the season, going and getting extra work on his own, he's put a lot of time in. So I mean, just continuing to move forward and push through with reps and getting those guys, especially in training camp and the OTA and the Phase 2 process.
How much of a focus for you in this game specifically? Excuse me, is scheming up the run game. I know you guys want to run it well in every game. And run it well in some games, maybe not as well in others, but in this specific matchup against the Bills, how much?
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying. We want to establish the run. I mean, that's what we always try to do. That's what I believe in. That's what we believe in. So I mean, it's nothing more, nothing less. That's what we try to attack every single week. Some weeks are better than others. But we got to play a balanced game. We got to obviously control the line of scrimmage. I think that's consistent. There's really good fronts and defenses in this league that we play every single week. So it doesn't really change the approach from one week to the other. We know what we got to do, and we got to do consistently better job throughout the course of the game in that regard.
How do you feel Jarrett and Trent did in their second action in those spots, and then Titus back at guard? How did you feel like he did in this one?
Yeah, no, I thought they did a good job. Again, just continuing to get some reps with those guys together. But they competed. Again, was it perfect? No, but I thought they played really, really tough. I thought they played hard. They finished. And I think you've seen that, throughout the course of the season, but just called the last couple of weeks. I know I think maybe you had asked that last week or somebody did. But I was pleased with the way that they competed, and there's still a lot of room for growth. And then, it's always good getting Titus. Titus is smart. He's got, good flexibility. He's tough. He's a physical player, so always good to get him back out there too.
Comfort level like with Davis now heading into the third game as compared to heading into the first?
I just think, look, I have a lot of confidence in him, from the start. I would say the one thing that you get to do is as we get more time on task with each other, you just get an opportunity to have more dialogue, and we can, obviously modify some things that we have, and we've got our system. And then, each player is a little bit different relative to some things, whether it's a concept that they might have higher on a priority board than others that's within our system, but just getting more dialogue really, and being able, the biggest thing is being able to see the game through the same set of eyes. So while I'm calling it, while he's out there, we understand what we're trying to get done, and we can speak on those things and make adjustments and stuff like that. And he's really into that, so been really pleased with that.
To that same point, how much do you involve him in training camp or in like week 2 when he's not going to play, and catering an offensive scheme to him even though he's not playing, and then changing things when he is playing? Like, how do you go about that?
Well, we have our system. Okay, we have our system, our core plays, whether it's our core run game, our core priority quicks, dropbacks, play passes, stuff, and then obviously whatever our game plan elements are, we're gonna use that relative to the opponent, what we feel the strength of our players are. I mean, he's in the quarterback room. He's been in the quarterback room, so it's a shared ownership with that entire room. May there be a player, two that maybe one guy might prefer a little bit more than another? Sure, that happens wherever you go. So I think it's, we try to just be able to do what's right each week for the opponent, for we have, and obviously you always want the player that's under center having a comfort level with those things as you call them, and so that you can understand, and we, him and myself and our staff, what we're trying to get out of it, and be able to coordinate it the right way through his eyes.
To get Jalen Noel more playing time?
He's done a good job. I think it's just, again, we have a bunch of receivers. We have a deep receiver room. We try to mix the groupings in there. Sometimes, again, the flow dictates otherwise, but I have a lot of faith in Jalen Noel, and he'll play a lot of football for us, and there's nothing he's done that would prevent me from having faith in him. Got all the faith in him.
We got time for a few more. Y'all in the locker room.
But just going back to the offensive line
Yep.
question from Cody earlier.
Yep.
When you guys week to week are trying to decide that best five, putting out that best five, what are y'all as a staff looking for?
Consistency in terms of execution, and again, that starts in practice. That starts, it started. We have a body of work that now, more than halfway through a regular season, but that's really what we're looking for. Consistently good, not occasionally great, just being the same guy every single day, and just continuing to move forward and get better. And obviously there's injuries and stuff that dictate some of the rotation of some of those guys, but that's what we're looking for. And again, you got guys like you mentioned, Titus. Like he's played a lot of football, and he's played outside, inside, and all those things. We have a bunch of guys with some flex, which I'm thankful that we do. I really am.
You've all been able to get Nico the ball consistently throughout the game the past 2 weeks. Do you feel like you've found the best ways to get him involved in this offense?
I think Nico's done a great job of executing and making some big. He's a great player. I think we're always trying to obviously keep him at the focal point of our offense, and love getting him the ball. He makes plays. He's got aggressive hands. He's a dynamic playmaker, and he's a great teammate. So that doesn't change from week to week for us.
Into when to be aggressive and not aggressive at the end of the first half?
I mean, we always want to be aggressive. I think, there's times where, you're trying to, if you shoot yourselves in the foot and we're in 1st and 20s and stuff like that, obviously you want to continue, you want to try to move the ball forward. But I think just trying to always be able to move the ball forward, establish the run, and then be able to, take our shots. We'll take our shots, and have those planned accordingly. But, we're never not trying to be aggressive or move the ball. I think sometimes, sometimes we can execute better. Sometimes I can come up with a better play call. I mean, it's all that. But I think, just trying to be able to move the ball forward and stay on track is the biggest thing.
Y'all came up with some pretty big third down plays in the Tennessee game. What have you seen from y'all that's allowed y'all to be successful in Tennessee?
I think, starting with the protection, I think, being tied together in protection, I think good route detail in the pass game. I would say that extends to some of the runs and stuff, some of the scheme runs or screens too, just good execution. The guys have done a really good job when they've had opportunities to make the most of it, and it's helped us. It's helped us on those possession downs for sure.
On that 3rd and 17, that Davis connected Nico, obviously the corner was kind of sinking under it, but to the upper way top. What kind of goes into being able to make that type of throw to get it, to Nico, but you can't just beeline it to him. You kind of get it over. What kind of just goes into making that type of throw?
Conviction, trust, chemistry. I think understanding, playing a lot of football and prepping and having obviously the throws banked into making those type of throws. I'd say nothing more, nothing less, but a lot of conviction and trust, and just great job by 2 guys going and making a play in a critical part of the game. Yep, thank you guys.